what you have here, you have our sense of taste couldn't care less about our creatively plotted visions for ourselves, which I love. But I think there's all right. So we're talking about this as like, oh my God, we just have to just be real with ourselves that we like this extremely I don't know, embarrassing thing. But here's the thing. That's a conversation you can have. That's me like speaking hyperbolically, but it's kind of the way we're talking right now about like this is some pure embarrassing thing. But the reality is there's a
Yeah.
second thing happening, which is it's not,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
No, it's
very
not.
good. So it's and the thing I like about your piece, which the reason it resonated so much, I think for me is like I was early in the process of making this podcast, like just thanking fucking God that Tim Kasher came on the first episode of this show and just really excited about it. And what I was kind of like unlocking in my head was like a major kind of purpose of this, a major kind of reason is to do the job of explaining that, do the job of getting at why this is not that. And like I honestly in the
Yeah.
podcast, I make a point not to refer to him as Connor. I make a point not to I'm like so averse to becoming like in like fanboy voice of it or whatever. It's almost like
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what I like and criticize what I don't and say what I liked then and feels weird now. And honestly, all that process is like, how do you go about this in a way that like hopefully unlocks some of the reasons this is more than just whatever like hair swooped in front of the face emo thing was
Yeah.
happening at the very beginning.
Yeah, that's a
Just
great point. Like I don't want at all to sound like I relate or ever related to Conor Oberst as like, my I wouldn't know any One Direction songs, but like my embarrassing like, teenage thing that I know is crap. I actually think Conor Oberst is amazing. And like I will go to the mat arguing that and do, but it's complicated. Like I think I was thinking about like I will often read like critics saying that like Buster Keaton was actually a genius or Charlie Chaplin. Like go back and watch these old movies. And so sometimes I will try to engage with some old thing that was like not taken seriously in its time, but now people are saying you should take it seriously. And I usually don't enjoy it that much. Like within 10 minutes, I'm a little bored and confused and forget it. And I think the actual message of those like arguments is that it's okay to take seriously what seems like pure ephemera or not quite heavy art now. Like Will Ferrell might be Buster Keaton in 100 years. And I think it's perfectly likely that Conor Oberst, I mean, I know saying Bob Dylan is like an excruciatingly overdone thing, and I don't even know Bob Dylan that well, but just like this is what it feels like to be living at the same time that I think an artist who is going to last is making his music. And it is this weird dynamic of like recognizing his flaws, cringing occasionally, and knowing somehow that he just like has something. Like